Welcome to Oceanside. It's about a 45-minute drive to this city outside of San Diego, but I always like coming here. I mean, the number one reason is because my girlfriend works out here, but the second reason is because I just really love this place. There's such a great variety of places to eat, things to see, and the people here are so nice. It's just a wonderful place to be. So it's kind of ironic that in the middle of a beautiful day like this in December, I decided to go to two different movie theaters here in the city. If you're an Oaksider, the Regal Oceanside, the one right by the pier, is the place you think of. But the sad part is that this movie theater might be going away soon. Back in October, City Council said they're going to be tearing down the movie theater and putting housing in its place. So if you want to see a movie, you have to go far more inland to the Regal Mission Marketplace. So it's pretty ironic that for the first city in my movie theater versus series, we already have a clear winner. But it might be a little bit more complex than that. And in this video, we're going to be visiting both movie theaters and determining which one is the true winner. And I hate to say it, there is a clear winner, and it's not the one that's being torn down. About halfway down Highway 76, you'll reach the Regal Mission Marketplace. This is a locals theater that has changed hands many times over the years. Regal is actually its 7th tenant. The original owner of this theater was called Nickelodeon, no relation to the TV channel. One of its most famous tenants was Ultrastar. There's some great photos of this theater from 2012 that are uploaded onto Cinema Treasures. When Regal bought this theater in 2019, they did some amazing renovations to it. It is super futuristic in here. There's black shiny tiles everywhere, lots of moving screens and images, and there's a ton of leather chairs to lounge around on and a full bar. They even have a little arcade. Well, some old school machines, but we love those. When this theater opened, it had 8 screens, but over the years it expanded to 13. Its biggest screen was transformed into an RPX, which stands for Regal Premium Experience. If you've never been to an RPX before, it's kind of like Regal's Dolby clone. The seats are very comfy, but they don't recline all the way. Some, but not all the theaters here have reclining seats. The screen that I was in today, screen 3, had those reclining seats. It has about a 50-person capacity. These leather seats are very nice, and they go into a full recline. As beautiful as this theater is, that's really my main complaint. Adding reclining chairs to a theater is a double-edged sword. People love reclining chairs in a theater, and it makes the experience so much better. But from the theater's standpoint, it reduces the capacity of a screen if you add reclining seats, which means you sell less tickets and you sell less concessions. So while I understand why Regal decided to have it both ways and have only a few screens have these recliners, I do think they should have gone all the way and given it to all of them. But in the grand scheme of things, this is just a minor complaint, and it's a wonderful theater for the community. I'm glad this theater stuck around even if it changed hands a lot over the past 30 years. Regal did an amazing job with the renovations at the Mission Marketplace. It feels like a mini version of the flagship theaters there are in other cities like Irvine and Dublin, California. But the one problem with the theater is the location. It's a little bit farther out of the way unless you live in the suburbs of Oceanside. But what about the Regal that everyone knows, the one that's on the pier? As I mentioned earlier in this video, that movie theater might be closing down soon, but nothing is final until shovels get in the ground. So how does the Regal on the Oceanside Pier compare? Right off the main street of Oceanside is the Regal Oceanside. This theater is literally 1 block from the pier, and it's in the middle of Oceanside's historic downtown area. If you're looking for an old school Regal, this is the place to go. This theater hasn't been renovated since the 90s, for better and for worse. There's neon on the walls everywhere you look. There's also little remnants of an earlier time. There's the kids' party room and the arcade. Besides the neon, the hallways to the theaters themselves have nothing. No decorations, no benches to sit down, nothing. Just these long, liminal hallways that remind you of the back rooms. Here's what one of the theaters looks like. There's no premium options at this theater. This regular screen is all you get. And these screens have definitely seen better days. The seats themselves are fine, they're nothing special, but these are reserved stadium seating. It seems strange to have reserved seating in a theater like this where the seats haven't changed since the 1990s. It also doesn't help that the floors are sticky, and for some reason these seats have 2 cup holders. From an AV standpoint, the theater is fine, but from a hospitality perspective, from the seats to the interior visuals, everything about this theater seems outdated and old. Don't get me wrong, I love the neon from a nostalgia perspective, but nostalgia doesn't put butts in seats. And when there's much better luxury options out there like the Cinépolis and Vista, and yes, the Regal Mission Marketplace that we covered earlier, even though this theater's in a great location, there's no real reason to come here when there's much better options out there. Being an icon of the city can only carry you so far. You have to have a good reason for people to buy a ticket and take the ride.
Wow, this is such a nice movie theater, but I think it would be better if they tear this down and made affordable apartments.
To be honest with you, the Regal on the Oceanside Pier just isn't that great. Even though it's an icon of the city, it's very outdated. And I don't mean in terms of the lobby and all the neon that's inside of it, I'm talking about the theaters themselves. But even though I have a lot of negative things to say about that theater, it does feel bad that that theater is closing down. Because it really is an icon and a more accessible movie theater for a lot of people to go to. And with movie theaters everywhere being threatened, it feels bad that one of them, especially one so important to the community, is being torn down. Even when a bad movie theater closes, the whole community suffers. I really do wish that Regal put more attention into the one on the pier. Because even though the Regal at the Mission Marketplace is beautiful, and I really like the work they did on it, I do think it would have been better served to have that work done at the Regal at the Oceanside Pier. There really is no easy solution to all these movie theaters closing. There really isn't. It's a complex issue that deserves a much longer video devoted to it. But in conclusion, it's a bit sad that the winner of this episode, the Regal Mission Marketplace, is the winner not just because of its quality, but because the other movie theater is closing down. I really do hope the Regal in Oceanside has a miracle handed to it and is able to get renovations or at least stay open in the short term. But in the long term, the closure of the Regal Oceanside is a sign of the times, and not a very good one, in my opinion. Is there two movie theaters that you want me to do a comparison to? Or is there two movie theaters that are super close within the same city that you want me to check out and compare? Leave me a comment down below if you have an idea of where I should go next. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your support. My name is Matthew Looney, and I like reviewing movie theaters. Thank you.